Hi, I'm Francesca from Luna Press and welcome to Journeying with Luna. This time we're going to be looking at the releases of 2019 and you better sit down because I think I have done myself in terms of numbers of releases this year. So there we go, let's start. As always, I'm looking for ways of creating new either series or projects, and for 2019 I created a new series called the Harvester series. The Harvester series, the idea behind it was to collect short stories from authors who had been working for a while, so stories that you would have found in very established magazines, maybe best of award-winning stories, plus a selection of brand new stories just for the collection and a bonus section at the end, which was a way to get to know the author better. So in the whole series that you will see, some of the authors gave us, say, script, handwritten notes of how the story started, playlist to accompany the books, a behind the scene for each of the stories, anything really that the author wanted to share with the readers. So the very first book for the Harvester series was from Paul Kane, and the book was The Controllers. The Controllers gathered some of Paul's most amazing stories, old and of course new. And now Paul has been writing for a long time, is very prolific and is really unsettling for those of you that are into Paul's horror. And the beautiful cover is by Ben Baldwin. So Paul was the one to open the entire series. This is a really, really recommended book for sure. The second release for 2019, it's from the Harvester series again, this time from writer Marie Oregan, and the book was called The Last Ghost and Other Stories. So this is also dark fantasy, and as you know, Marie has also been writing excellent work for a long time, so she does have a tremendous flair for those ghost stories, delicate ghost stories, and I was so happy to be able to work with her. The cover is by Daniele Serra, as you can probably tell. Daniele is quite a unique style. By the time April came, we went to EasterCon, and at EasterCon we launched 2 teen books. One was the second installment of Elizabeth Priest, The Changeling's Choice. So the first book, The Concrete Fairy, had been launched the year before in the winter, and so this was the second one in the Trout's Pond series. The second book we launched at EasterCon was from Italian writer Daniele Azara. The book is for the teenage market and it's called Children of Mu, The Calling. This book it's really rich in mythology from the world of Atlantis and Mu. The cover, it's a photography by Ilaria Licci, an Italian photographer, really talented, and she created this cover for us to follow the story of the main character. The following month we left the young adult trade and we went back to the Harvester, this time with Stephen Bacon and Murmured in Dreams. Stephen cover was made by Ben Baldwin, and it is a really beautiful book with an introduction by Priya Sharma, and we were so delighted to have been able to work with him for the first time and hopefully not the last. So this is our third installment for the Harvester series. As the year moved on, we went back to Accademia Lunare for 2 publications. The first one was with the Tolkien Society, and it was the Peter Rowe. Tolkien the Pagan, reading Middle-earth through a spiritual lens. This particular Peter Rowe was, of course, the proceedings of the seminar from 2018, and it was edited once again by Anna Milon. So it collects all the papers that were presented at that particular conference, and you can find it, of course, on our website as well under the Tolkien tab. The second book for Accademia Lunare came from Gareth Powell, and it was about writing. As you know, Gareth is a very talented science fiction author, and is a really, really kind person on the Twitter community with a lot of time and advice for young aspiring writers. And so this little book distilled that kindness, you know, and it was such a pleasure to be able to work with Gareth on this. Gareth came to us through Alexander Cochrane Agency, so this was Luna Press' second time working with agents, and I think it's very important that a press does that. We launched this book at Chimera in 2019. It was Chimera's first year, and for those of you that don't know, Chimera is Edinburgh or Scotland only science fiction festival. So created by Anne Landman. Really, really beautiful opportunity. And so also, you know, for someone that is based in Scotland, it's a very important thing to have. After Chimera, we went back to fiction, particularly with the Harvester series. And the fourth installment of the Harvester series was Incomplete Solution by Wole Talabi. This is an incredible collection by a really strong author from Nigeria. As you can see, the cover was created for us by South African author, artist, Joy Hi-Fi, really talented, beautiful cover. And Wole is a name that already has established itself in the speculative community. It has been shortlisted for many awards, including the Kane Awards, the Nomo Awards, and actually, as we speak, there are two stories which are in this particular collection which are shortlisted for the Nomo Awards. So another milestone. I am extremely excited about that. As I said back in 2017, Luna Press, as it was at the beginning of the growth, was starting to look for different voices and to try and really bring in the different cultures to give really science fiction and speculative fiction all the layers that it deserves. So here it is, Incomplete Solution, Wole Talabi. In July, as we were packing our bags to head to Dublin for the WorldCon, we released a new book for Accademia Lunare, The Ozone Diary by Tero Mielonen and Pentti Otsamo. This book has a milestone attached in that it was the first time that we were working with translation grants, because of course the both author and artist are from Finland. This is for Accademia Lunare, is also slightly different from what we normally do, but is essentially a more traditional comic style graphic novel that follows the life of a researcher post-PhD. Specifically in the world of meteorology, and also, in a sense, it looks at the challenges of life for students, for researchers once the PhD is finished. And it was, like I said, it was quite, unusual, I suppose, for Luna Press, but I like sciences, I like to explore things like this, and I actually find this kind of project very interesting. So I was so happy to have met and been able to realize this project with Tero and Pentti. And in fact, I met them at the Finnish WorldCon. So there you go. One more release for July was back again into the young adult teen trade, and it was book 3 of the Trout's Pond series by Elizabeth Priest. Now, at the time this came out, we didn't know yet, but the following month, on the way back from Dublin, we were then contacted by China, and Luna Press, again, so this is milestone attached to the book. Luna Press sold the first audio right books to China, and Papaya FM, which is this large company, audiobooks, bought the rights for Concrete Fairy, which is the first book in this series. So you can find all the links on our website, and for us it was incredible. The book literally was released last month. I'm talking in July 2020, so the book came out beginning of June. So really end of May, really exciting time, So well done, Lizzie. There we go. The last release for July was for the Harvester series. And The House Lights Dim by Tim Major, cover by Daniele Serra. Tim is an incredible writer. You guys will probably, by the time I'm recording this, 2020, more work is coming out from different publishers. Is an emerging writer, is really strong. He works so hard in fiction and non-fiction. We are so happy to have had him in our family. And as part of the 2020 release, we also have something else with Tim. You'll have to wait for that video when I make it next year. The month of August saw two very important conventions happening for Luna Press. The first one was Tolkien 2019 in Birmingham, and it lasted for about 5 days, right in the center of Birmingham, and it was packed with the most important scholars from Tolkien world, fans, artists, and it was an incredible experience. For us, in particular for Luna Press, it was the release of this book, Tolkien's Library, an Annotated Checklist by Oronzo Cilli. Oronzo is an Italian collector and scholar, and this book, it's an incredibly useful tool for all researchers in Tolkien scholarship. It contains a list of all the books that Tolkien ever knew of, read, and owned. And it's a book that has also a website attached to it, because there will be eventually a second edition. This is quite a work in progress, because there are books that get discovered all the time that Tolkien would have read or owned, and so of course we're trying to keep things up to date. The website will be really useful when it comes to create the second edition of this book. The magnificent cover was painted by Jay Johnston, and the original was actually sold at the event as well. The milestone attached to this book is the fact that it's our very first hardback. We never had a hardback before, but we have it for this book. So there is a hardback, paperback, and ebook. And also, I am delighted to say this book won the Tolkien Awards 2020 for Best Book. So there you go, Tolkien's Library. Being in Dublin, it was only fitting to have an Irish release, and so here comes The Joining by Nina Oram. The Joining is the first of a trilogy, the Carrochwheels trilogy, which is steeped in Irish mythology, and we love this so much. I don't know if you can tell by the style, but the cover art for The Joining is from Bede Rogerson, who did the covers and is still doing the covers for the Trout's Pond series for Elizabeth Priest. This was a beautiful and exciting opportunity to have, an Irish-based author at an Irish Worldcon, so very excited. And the second book, 2020, third book, end of 2020. So Nina Oram with The Joining. And remember, if you have watched episode 2, 2016, you'll remember that Nina Oram came to Luna Press family through the Beyond Realities Volume 2 short story contest. So again, so nice to be able to work with authors more than once, wherever possible. So this is great. The final August release was for the Harvester series by Ian Waits. The book is called Wourism and Other Stories. Now, most of you will know Ian Waits as the owner of the fabulous Newcomb Press, but for me, he's also a very special person because, in a sense, Ian is a bit like my mentor when I started Luna Press. So Ian is always going to be this father figure to me. And is an incredible writer, so of course I was delighted when I had the chance to work with him. And this book also was shortlisted for the stories, some of the stories, but also the cover art is by the artist known as Fangorn, or Chris Baker, who's been working for many years, is an amazing artist. And Fangorn won the British Science Fiction Award for the best cover art. So we are really, really chuffed, and with this work and with the book and having them in the family like this. So there you go, Wourism. In October, we headed to FantasyCon, this time in Glasgow, and we held the Harvester series launch party with all the Harvester books and authors, and we also released the last Harvester for 2019. Learning Monkey and Crocodile by African writer Nick Wood. Nick gave us an impressive bonus section with a lot of interesting article. He does, research is part of his day work life, if you like, and he's, he wrote a lot on writing with disabilities, writing the other, and so it's a very, very interesting bonus section that add to an already rich group of stories, which really strongly show the culture and the background of the writer. So it's an incredible book, highly recommended. And some of you will know already Nick for his Azanian Bridges, his debut novel, which was also published by Newcomb Press, in fact. So Nick Wood, the cover art here is by John Cockshaw, who by now you'll know has worked with us on several projects. So Learning Monkey and Crocodile. And as 2019 draws to a close, our last publication is released in December, and this time is the second book by Anthony Laken on Dark Horizons. This book is part of the Infinity Machine series and is a steampunk fantasy adventure outside of London that Anthony Laken wrote and worked on for all this year. Remember, the first book of the series, the One Cog Turning, was nominated for the Gamble Awards in the Morningstar category, the debut category. So obviously, it's an incredible journey to watch Anthony starting. Remember, he was one of the authors that submitted a short story for Beyond Realities Volume 1, our short story competition back in 2015 when we first started. So again, to watch any of our authors progress and become stronger, brighter, it's a really amazing experience for us in the press, and so hashtag, Luna Proud Parents. We really are, we love to work with our authors. So that's Anthony on Dark Horizons. Book 3, the final one, is coming out in 2020. And this concludes the journey with Luna for 2019. I'll do it all the time. This time it's heavy. Hold on, Jesus. Here we go. This is our book for 2019. I would say, it's been a tough year. I'm still, on my own, but it's been a very, very exciting year. I think I need to slow down for 2020, otherwise I'm just gonna die, really. But thank you so much for all of your support. At the time I'm recording this, they're just about to ease some of the lockdown restriction after COVID. We've missed out so many conventions, and which is a shame for our authors, especially our debut authors. So, it's been tough for everyone, for the book industry in general, from the bookstores, the indie publishers, the bigger publishers, the distributors. Some of them, like Bertrand, had to close. So God knows what else will happen by the time the year is over. So I just want to say thank you so much for all of your support, for buying our books directly from us, through Amazon. Thank you for supporting the Luna family and the Luna authors. It really means a lot. So thank you for reading, and I will make the 2020 video at the end of the year, of course. So until then, stay safe and see you soon. Ciao.